Yes, in fact we have. I'm Shu from Feiyun Commerce Guild. Aboard this the inventor of Theater Mechanicus previously came to the Feiyun Commerce Guild seeking investment. Although the guild... We heard that they'd be demonstrating...
Oh! Speaking of which...
Master, he's,
Whoa!
It's the Traveler in Paimon. I presume you are guests in Ina's...
Oh, we aren't actually guests. We're actually guides for the Iridori Festival.
Please, no need to worry. I was a little too caught up in a novel on the voyage here. When I finally realized what time it was, the first rays of dawn were already peeking over the horizon. Yes, now that we've arrived, the Kanjo Commission will likely wish to inspect our invitation letter. Let's keep it in hand, Huh? That's odd. There was a piece of paper underneath my bag. Strange.
Ooh, let Paimon have a look! Oh, there's no doubt about it. It's from the same series as
The story you found before?
Oh, yeah! In the warehouse down by Yeah, that's it! If you can find one of the stores...
Wait a moment. So you mean that...
Hey! It's hard coming up with...
There's a chance of meeting... Really? Just a few days later. Word then, it is a most rare...
Don't worry, Xingqiu. Also, we...
So you've already heard. To be honest, Calx is not only a... But when I looked at the... Oh my! I was beginning to get carried away there. Let us depart. Quickly now.
Traveler,
You must be Calx. Forgive me.
And you may call me Albedo, then.
No.
Why not? Besides...
It's not just you, Albedo. We haven't seen Xingqiu at...
You guys... Oh, by the way, we happened to find a story...
Poem?
You...
Huh? Oh, yes. Oh, I understand the story now.
Splendid.
If all of you are free.
Well...
Do you have other...
No, not at all.
Shimura's.
That's perfectly fine with me. But I must...
No, Paimon, I'm not...
Huh?
Paimon, you...
Read them together. Suiko lost Aoi no Okina's... Huh? Wait a minute. Could today... No way!
And that is Moreover, he didn't raise any questions when I suggested another place because of the windy weather.
Are you saying that Xingqiu has already been in Inazuma for some time? And that he's only pretending he just...
Yes, that is indeed my conclusion.
But... how...
Calm down. I think there must...
Oh?
It's I'll be relying on your assistance to... Good. don't see anyone. First, we must, since we're still waiting.
Albedo?
If he really is high.
Oh, kinda.
Is that so?
The last phase of the Irodori Fest.
That's right.
I've seen Gen.
He'll be there in person on.
Wait a minute. Did you just...
Young customers we support.
Welcome to Uyu Restaurant. Please talk to
Hello there.
Hi! Do you...
Why, of course.
So the weather it's...
It sure has.
Oh.
That was delicious. Inazuman cuisine largely consists of fresh seafood.
That's good. We were worried you might not have an appetite because now's our chance. Let's talk to Shincho and see if he says anything useful. Maybe we could start by...
Well, I've never embarked on such a long journey before. Though I was quite excited when we set...
Speaking of the journey, did it...
Well, to be honest...
Well, that didn't tell us. By the way, Shincho,
Oh, I was reading a novel called...
didn't you feel dizzy while reading on the ship?
It was nothing I couldn't handle. Don't for...
Well, there doesn't seem...
To be honest, there wasn't much to see. So, when the peak of Mount Yogo finally appeared in the distance as we approached the islands of Inazuma, everyone crowded the deck to have a look. However, the ship sailed along at a crawling pace. It took a whole day from the time we saw the mountain peak to the time we docked.
Paimon didn't catch anything suspicious so... Oh,
We learned a couple.
While it is entertaining to read novels, writing one is an endeavor of its own. You must give great... And even when you have come up with interesting content...
I couldn't agree more. Whether it's writing a book...
Shincho and Albedo are getting into...
Speaking of illustrations, Albedo, my novel didn't sell well in Liyue, yet you've consistently managed to select the most important scene of the chapter for your illustrations. This made me feel...
Thank you. However, I took some risks in the illustration. Light novel illustrations are
Well, that scene was intense.
No, there was a crack in his alibi. My illustrations... Xingqiu, we have something very...
Oh? Why the solemn looks all... Huh? I'm afraid I don't follow.
Mr. Okazaki told us...
On top of that, the latest installment of A Legend of Sword...
Well...
The jig's up, Are you in some kind of danger?
No, no! I suppose my lack of sleep is a I did in fact come to Ina's...
Oh! Well, if this isn't a coincidence.
Huh? Tone deaf bard, what?
I heard that the owner of this establishment has some fine...
Paimon knew you couldn't
Says who? I just bumped into did I...
Oh no. The person they apprehended. Was it by...
Apologies, Kujo-Sara didn't mention a name.
Everyone, it's too late to explain. Wait, Onodera is innocent.
Oh, so you...
Anyway, you mustn't take him away. I can explain everything.
No need to worry, Genyu.
Yes.
Oh, you...
Shincho looks pretty flustered.
In the end.
No, Genyu. It's for the Iridori Festival. Not only was this the first major... However, I did not...
Yes, to be frank.
Even though such an event will be difficult for Genyu, so these past few days, so I came up with the idea. I thought everything would work out to make things worse.
Onodera. Also, at a previous event, I practiced tired, but looking back on it now, I had dug myself...
Hey, come on, you
Yeah, that's right.
Onodera, I think...
Yes, I understand.
We should probably...
Onodera, what are you doing here?
I'm very sorry for all the trouble that I've caused.
Yes, Onodera, but why didn't you tell everyone earlier? If you had told us, we could have thought...
That's right. We're a team, and we should be helping each other in tough situations like this.
Let's leave the past behind us now. Our first priority is...
My progress is not what I had hoped for. Even after working through the night these past few days, I've...
Oh.
I understand. Murata, go back to Yae Publishing House and get Aratani to book a room on the second floor of the Uyu restaurant. We'll be using...
Yes, Mr. Hirayama.
Yes, good idea. Ah, you've just reminded me. Two calligraphers from...
It seems I'm rude.
No need to worry, Genyu.
Yes, but writing not...
Even though Shincho still has...
I always used to
We also...
Huh?
Pardon me.
Oh, right.
I see. It appears that Onodera and I were spotted when we were moving the books. Albedo. Not only do I owe the success...
No problem.
That figure was none other than Aoi no Okina himself. This turn of events had begun with an unnamed individual, under whose coercion, Aoi no Okina was forced to take drastic measures to retrieve a page of poetry. He knew nothing of this individual's true intentions. All he knew was that the poem had to do with an old acquaintance, Akahito.
I'm sure I've forgotten something.
Albedo really is something. He finished the Wonder how Shincho's calligraphy... Oh, hello! He's a friend of ours. Oh, what's that sound? It's getting late now. Time for us to be at the docks. Let's go! The arrival schedule says ship stopover, 1 person. Does that mean we're only welcoming 1 guest today? Look! That figure on the wharf! It looks like Kazuha!
Greetings, traveler in Paimon. I heard there would be guides for the Iridori Festival, but I didn't expect it would be you two. I was a little surprised myself when I received the invitation.
Kazuha, when we saw you in the distance just now, you seemed to be looking for something. What happened?
Ah, yes. You see, when I came up, I could tell they were not foot, even though I didn't manage.
Oh, does the...
Huh. Fascinating. It's almost hard to believe such things could happen. Sure, here it is.
Last time, Aoi no Okina's poem, story this time. Well, if Paimon were to rate today's story, it sounds pretty unfortunate.
I don't think there's anything.
But according to the story, Akihito was exiled by the Shogun because of his wrongdoings. You did nothing wrong, Kazuha. Huh? Traveler, what are you thinking about?
Ah, by the way, in Liyue and Inazuma, while sailing it.
Wow! Albedo, we figured out...
Interesting. Stamped seal, huh? Indeed, it is an efficient solution. If we use a stamp, then Xingqiu won't have to struggle with his hand. Since Xingqiu's signature has been previous, but I...
Yes, that's it, Genyu. Your writing has greatly improved.
My apologies, but I simply can't do it anymore. My hands are so sore that I can't even move them anymore. I should have known better than to read novels during calligraphy class.
You just had it.
When it comes to pushing a deadline...
No wonder, Lady Yai.
Whoa.
Mr. Hiroyama, we found in both Liyue and Inazuma. Of course, first, we'll use a personalized seal. In addition...
Alright, I think that...
So...
Mr. Hiroyama, it suddenly occurred, but if we adopted Couch's proposed method, we might have enough time to do signatures at the live event. And if all the authors sign their books in the same fashion...
If you think it's feasible, I would certainly be happy.
Yes, and you may...
In that case, I shall cut...
It is a great honor to use...
My pen name is...
Great! Looks like everyone's on board with the idea.
I'm sorry to have kept you busy for so long, Genyu. Please, take the next few days. The books that Genyu already signed can be used as special prizes in future events.
We did it.
Thanks to everyone's efforts. Onodera...
That's right. We still have some time to burn. Where should we go next?
Traveler, there you are.
Oh, it's Ayaka!
I was just going to the This bar just happened. But the paper Here's the paper.
Huh. All the poems we found before were
And even though they're... The position of...
If we take the poem literally, it reads, "Speaking of which..."
So, shall we...
Is there anything in the world that will satisfy my taste buds?
Wow, look! It's really working! Let Paimon see what it says.
You see, Paimon, to ensure that such special inks are However, since Akihito's poetry collection was an important gift to be presented, but as for the plagiarized poems, not only would they lack Akihito's seal, but the words would also react differently when exposed to...
Which means Akihito did...
Yes, it appears that this is the truth that's... Although the story is saddening, I've decided on the subjects to use for Akihito and Sumi... Kazuha, Ayaka.
I would be delighted.
Yes.
There you go! The next two portraits should be ready in no time!
Yes.
Ago, Inazuma had 5 legendary poets. People bestowed upon them the title of the 5 Kasen.
One year, the poet Suiko made his way to Tenshukaku and presented the Kasen's work for the shogun's perusal. But a page from the works of Aoi no Okina had been torn out, and Suiko was questioned regarding the matter. Suiko pleaded guilty. He admitted to drinking at the tavern the night before, and vaguely recalled a mysterious figure approaching while he was intoxicated.
That figure was none other than Aoi no Okina himself. This turn of events had begun with an unnamed individual, under whose coercion, Aoi no Okina was forced to take drastic measures to retrieve a page of poetry. He knew nothing of this individual's true intentions. All he knew was that the poem had to do with an old acquaintance, Akahito.
Akahito had once belonged to the 5 Kasen. Each poem he composed, he marked with a scarlet red seal, hence the Aka in his name. Such a distinguished writer was he, and yet one of the poems he had submitted the previous year was found to be plagiarized. Akahito was exiled for his crimes, and only 4 of the 5 Kasen remained.
Sumizome went over Akihito's poems and noticed that the plagiarized poem lacked his seal. She immersed his poetry in a stream nearby, and only on the plagiarized poem did the ink run. Aoi no Okina passed by and witnessed Sumizome's doing, which he then recorded in a poem. Thus transpired the events of Suiko's poetry submission, and this is where the story comes to an end.
Yeah. Ever since we completed the story of the 5 Kasen, there's still one thing. One of the 5 Kasen is called Kuranushi, right? It's just that, how could the story of the 5 Kasen finish without him appearing at all?
Oh!
Huh? Not noticed what?
What he means is that the story of Kuranushi was already embedded within the 4 poems.
Huh?
That's right. The key lies in the poem that Aoi no Okina wrote after seeing Sumizome rinsing the poetry collection. An average person could never understand the scene of a young girl washing Akahito's poetry collection in a stream. Even Aoi no Okina couldn't figure out the meaning behind Sumizome's actions. He was simply reminiscing and thinking about his old acquaintances. However, for the perpetrator who framed Akahito, it was completely obvious. He was worried that if this poem was seen by the Shogun, then the Shogun could discover the truth behind the plagiarism incident. If that happened, then he'd be finished. So, in desperation, he threatened Aoi no Okina to make him tear out this poem.
Which means the one who threatened Aoi no Okina is the same person that framed Akahito. What? Kuranushi?
That's right. Though there are only 4 poems, they still managed to tell the complete story of all 5 Kasen. Since the Shogun mentioned in the poems is certainly not the one of the 5 Kasen, the only character left is the mysterious one with an unknown identity.
Oh, okay. Paimon is finally starting to get it now.
However, this also brings something else to mind. The story of the 5 Kasen has more or less reflected everything that's been happening around us lately. Which begs the question, is there a Kuranushi in our world as well?
A Kuranushi? In our world?
Speaking of which, I wonder if our dear Kazuha has come up with anything.
Oh, right! Kazuha! He's been pretty quiet this whole time. Let's ask him! okay? You've been standing in front of this blank canvas for a while, and you don't look so good.
Apologies for making a wild assumption, but has the story of the 5 Kasen reminded you of anything?
Yes. A few things did come to mind, actually. However, they were nothing more than some past incidents regarding my family. I don't mind sharing the stories, but I'd prefer not to bring you any more trouble.
Hey, we're all friends here, Kazuha. You can always tell us whatever's on your mind.
Kaidehara, please forgive my assumption, but perhaps you were thinking of the Raiden Gokuden?
The Raiden Gokuden? What's that?
It appears that Miss Kamisato and I were thinking of the same thing. But it also has much to do with the Yashiro Commission. It would be improper to speak of it here without the consent of Miss Kamisato.
It's fine. Those of us here are all trustworthy, so there isn't any harm in it. However, this matter is somewhat complicated and may be difficult to explain. Let me start with the Raiden Gokuden. As you all know, the Yashiro Commission's primary purpose is managing ceremonial and cultural affairs, and Inazuma's art of forging swords is a very important part of our culture. The Raiden Gokuden were once the top 5 schools of the forging art in Inazuma. Although these families were swordsmiths by craft, they also held many important positions in the Yashiro Commission. Unfortunately, of the 5, only the Aminoma art still maintains its artisan lineage. The descendants of the Ishin art are also still alive, but the craft has been lost to time. The descendants of the Ishin art are none other than the Kaidehara family.
Whoa! We knew Kazuha came from a noble family, but we had no idea about his connection to the Yashiro Commission and sword making.
Yes, but that's all part of the past now. My grandfather, and in my
I heard my elder brother mention that the decline of the Raiden Gokuden happened very rapidly. In the span of a few decades, 3 of the later. However, since not every family of the Raiden Gokuden...
Indeed. I've also believed such ideas were just theories and rumors. However, I know that a major incident... Not only did it affect the Kaedehara clan, but it nearly... After reading the story of the 5 Kasen, I can't...
What exactly happened to your great-grandfather, Kazuha?
I still can't say. I need to speak with someone to verify the details. Let's meet here again. I will tell you everything I know then.
Kazuha said he would wait for us at the 5 Kasen Plaza today. Let's go. Make sure you get in line early to buy your special
Ah, you're here. It appears everyone has arrived. Last night, I visited a former servant who once worked for my family. In my great-grandfather, though all the craftsmen, when the deadline came, the Kaedehara clan. However, the Kaedehara clan, moreover...
Yes. The sudden passing of the family head left the Kamisato clan leaderless. This single incident had profound effects. Even after the position as head of the clan was passed to my but...
The failure to forge the blade. However, the story of the 5 Kasen seems to imply... Miss Kamisato, I heard... Might I ask...
Yes, I...
Be still.
Everyone, I've managed to find the old diagram.
Though the diagram is well preserved, you could...
Whoa.
At this point, we can only try...
Although the effect is not too obvious, you can still see that some words have now started to smudge. Kazuha, this is clear evidence that this chart was indeed tampered with. Someone framed the Kaedehara clan all those years ago.
I see. But I fear that I've discovered this secret too late. When my grandfather But my grandfather was only scolded for being too foolhardy. Yesterday, the former family servant said that my great-grandfather even went to the Yashiro Commission to request that diagram from the head of the Kamisato clan. He then showed that diagram to my grandfather and asked him and his subordinates to try to forge the sword. Sure enough, my grandfather also failed. My great-grandfather then told him, "If you can't find the secret within, then the Ishin art deserves to fade from the world." My grandfather left Inazuma in a rage after hearing those words. He didn't ever see my great-grandfather again, even till the day of his passing. Looking back at it now, the argument between the two of them was simply meaningless.
Oh, Kazuha.
I heard that your great-grandfather was very industrious when he was young, but later in life, he no longer bothered with the forging arts. It appears that his failure took quite a toll on him.
Kazuha, did your great-grandfather really say, "If you can't find the secret within"? Did he use those exact words?
Yes. The servant said that he personally heard those words, and still remembers them very clearly. My grandfather was so angry at the time that he smashed my great-grandfather's cherished bonsai tree.
Yes, it appears that you understand my meaning. Kazuha, if your great-grandfather thought that the Ishin art lacked finesse, then after witnessing his son's failure, wouldn't he have said something more along the lines of, "Your skills aren't sufficient"? But instead he said, "If you can't find the secret within." Don't you find that a little strange?
Huh? So you're saying my great-grandfather may have very...
Yes. The current evidence suggests that is highly likely.
I apologize, but would you all please accompany me to the Tenryo Commission? After I became a I want to inquire...
All right, let's...
What are you all doing here? Did something happen on...
Kujo Sara.
Yes, I do. You're Kaedehara Kazuha, a wanted criminal during the Vision Hunt decree. However, your arrest warrant has since been repealed.
Sara, we'd like to ask about the Kaedehara clan's property that was seized by the Tenryou Commission. Do you know where all their
Yes, the items seized at that time are currently stored in the warehouse next to the police station.
No, I'm afraid you misunderstand. I'm not here to reclaim those belongings. I just want to investigate them for a personal...
I see. All right, I'll inform the police station. They'll take you into the warehouse.
Thank you, Sara!
Kaedehara, about the...
That's all in the past now, Kujo Sara. There's no need to mention it again. I know you've also had your own convictions. However, may I ask something of you?
Yes? What is it?
Currently, I have no plans to stay in Inazuma. As a result, those items from my family's estate are of no use to me, Madam Kujo. I believe you are a person of integrity. After our investigation is over, I'd like to ask if you can handle those belongings for me. Please, sell them, and use the money to help the poor.
All right, I understand. I'll be sure to take...
You must be here to investigate the Kaedehara clan's belongings. Well, Madame Kujo's already informed me of the situation. Please, come this way. The Kaedehara clan's belongings are stored in this warehouse. Unfortunately, the items are scattered throughout in order to save space. My deepest apologies. However, I have clearly marked the corresponding items, so they shouldn't be too difficult to find. I'll be waiting for you at the door. Please, come see me if you require...
Kazuha, since...
Yes, sounds like a...
Oh, it's you.
Oh.
I'm afraid not. The blade on the sword hasn't been sharpened, but there are many signs of use on the hilt. Perhaps Kaedehara used it for training as a child.
seems to be... Paimon can imagine what Kazuha was like as a kid.
I will continue investigating here and call you if I find anything interesting.
Oh, it's you.
Whoa.
Yes. I was thinking the soil is deeply embedded because this is not what we're looking for now. Let me think.
Albedo seems to... What did you find, Shinjo?
I found quite the... These books here are all related to smelting steel. And these...
The book?
I skimmed through them just now, but...
There must be some... Do you see all these pots here? Some of them are bound to have liquor inside, right?
Hey! Well, what if we don't...
I know you are since Kazuha made such a request... No. Leave the things here to me. You two can look around elsewhere.
Everyone, I've found something that you should all have a look at.
Oh, see...
This flower pot was...
Yeah, the plant...
Well, after my great-grand... But he specifically left behind this dead plant at the time. My grandfather... But now that I think about it... Yes...
We finally found something! Do you think someone...
No, I do not think that is the case.
You mean to say that these sheets have been written with special ink? Like that which Miss Kamisato found before?
Yes, I agree with this hypothesis.
Okay, let's...
There is a pond outside the police station.
Well, how did...
Just as everyone guessed,
Oh? What does the letter say?
it is. Everyone,
Kaedehara, why did you lead us to this beach?
It is. In fact, my great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan, our hypothesis was correct. My great-grandfather was well aware. It read, "To whoever reads this letter, all those years ago, when I was pursuing the swordsmiths alongside Commissioner Kamisato of the Yashiro Commission, I was not injured by one of the fleeing smiths. Rather,
it was night, and after the clues led us down to shore, I waited for the culprits to show themselves. This stranger claimed to be the one behind the failed forgings, and said that he had been patient. That person was of able body, and in a blink of an eye, myself and the accompanying samurai had... Commissioner Kamisato was severely wounded. The unusual stranger could have easily claimed my life at that moment. But I answered that it was my father's surname, and after my father disappeared... Upon hearing my answer, the stranger paused. After a long silence, he suddenly said, "Tell her this. My name is Kuni Kuzushi." He then turned and left.
Wow.
yes. However, due to because the perpetrator... He said, "As the leader of the Kaedehara clan, I am deeply ashamed to witness the decline of the Isshin." Yes, that's right. If my grandpa had somehow Unfortunately, Miss Kamisato...
If the perpetrator... I will discuss this matter with brother.
To be honest, my great-grandfather said though he was in a tight situation when he wrote these words, I think what's most important for each person is not the path. Therefore, knowing... That being said, if the enemy from all those years ago is still lurking and plotting to stir up more trouble, these are simply... Thank you all.
Great! Now that we... Today is the final stage of the Iridori Festival. Not only will there be Shincho's signing event, but Albedo's painting of Kuranushi will also be unveiled. Let's take a stroll through the festival venue. Maybe we'll find everyone...
Hello, traveler. Paimon?
Albedo, why is the portrait of Kuranushi all covered up? Paimon wants to see what you're...
Don't worry. The unveiling ceremony will be starting shortly. You'll see what... I will say that I'm most satisfied with this particular work. I even made a special trip to see someone in order to complete it. They gave me some very valuable suggestions.
Ah.
Oh,
Yes, there were... Fortunately...
Brother and I are...
Toma sure is taking his sweet time.
Yes.
Paimon didn't think...
So...
Maybe I could just turn my diary into a light novel.
Usual.
I came here to take in the sea breeze. Such a bustling... Thank you. Look. But now, not only are...
Yeah. Inazuma's already started to change, huh?
I was thinking it might take a dip, and when they finally...
Well,
Hey! What
is that...
We were mere...
Frig.
If you're tired from walking all around the festival, how about you sit right here and try the Inazuman snacks?
Traveler, Paimon, it's a pleasure. Indeed it did. You aren't mistaken. Though, after all, I came to Ina. Fortunately, the crowds of readers that came flocking over have kept the usual tourists at bay. Oh, I should mention. Then, please accept my thanks in advance. I'll see you later at...
It's time for the portrait's unveiling ceremony. Let's head over to the 5 Kasen Plaza.
Everyone, welcome. Today we have... And now we will reveal the final...
Paimon has no idea what else...
Let's all count down together. 3, 2, 1... I suppose Calx...
Hello, everyone. The 5 I learned from... Moreover, perhaps we can... After all...
Yep, that's Albedo for ya. His super logical explanation is sure to win everyone. Well, it seems that our adventures at the Iridori Festival have come to a... Huh? Oh. Oh, right! Really? Come on then, who is it? Tell Paimon! Well, that makes sense. Right. Even though they were using stories to hint us toward Shincho's troubles, the real goal was to... Let's go!
Oh, but things may be a...
Yes, in fact, I think my...
Ayato! You're the one behind the stories of the 5 Kasen! But don't you think...
As it just so happens, one of the reasons I'm here today is to explain the deep... First of all, the start of this whole incident was due to mere happenstance. You...
Huh? So Paimon knew what this thing had...
That's right. But as for my roundabout approach... Well, that was something which I had no choice but to do. Yes. Due to a certain incident that occurred, I knew there was more than meets the eye regarding those papers. But it... What Kaedehara Yoshino... The Kaedehara clan used to be subordinates of the... Although he has the right... Of course, I could outright tell him the truth that I had discovered. But maybe he doesn't... If he lacks the ability, then he wouldn't be able to find the truth in the first place. In which case, It would be better to... Kaedehara Yoshinori left his message in a roundabout way precisely for this... for a long time.
Oh, Paimon gets it. Yeah, it wasn't only Kazuha. You brought all of the rest of us into this plan of yours.
I merely saw that... and more importantly, I hope that while reliable friends who would be willing to protect them and make measured decisions, because it is also very likely that you will face the same enemy together in the future. You already know the answer deep down inside. The answer is actually hidden in the portrait of Kuronushi. When there is no one else near the portrait, you can confirm with your own eyes. As for the means of revealing that...
It's getting pretty late, so nobody else is around now. So I had to... It's the Balladeer! So he was the one behind the trouble all those years ago!
When there is no one else near the portrait, you can confirm with your own eyes. As for the means of revealing... Also, there's... I mentioned earlier that it was just after they had discovered... I felt something... In the meantime, I sent a member of the Shumatsuba...
You mean... he was also looking for... Why didn't you send someone to catch him?
The best way to protect a secret. After he left Inazuma, I carefully checked the Kaedehara. I am certain that the... So, which part of Kaedehara Yoshinori's experiences was the secret? As for now, please, enjoy yourselves at the Iridori Festival. Let's take shelter for the time being. Don't worry, one of my people will be here with umbrellas momentarily.